I love all the home renovation shows on TV, but I rarely see any for apartment renovations. The goal for apartment renovations is twofold: to be able to get the best possible tenants and best possible rental income, but also to be able to prepare the apartment in such a way that when the new tenant moves in, you can minimize service calls. At this point, you have to think about what your business model is. Are you trying to provide only what's absolutely necessary and minimize costs? Or are you trying to offer your new tenants something that's better than your competition? One thing that I recommend is that you look at what your competitor offers. You don't have to physically go to your competitor's apartments, although that wouldn't be such a horrible thing. But you could just go and do a search online and look at a website like Zillow.com or Craigslist and just take a look at the pictures and see what they offer. What kind of kitchen countertops do they have? What kind of floors? What kind of appliances? What kind of fixtures? What your competitor offers is going to change over time, so it's always worth it to check in from time to time. When you first start your renovation, you have to see what kind of a condition the apartment is in. What kind of wear and tear does it have? I've seen it all. One time I walked into an apartment and I couldn't believe it. I looked on the walls. The paint looked like it has just been painted on. The floors had no scratches on them. We almost had to do no renovations in the apartment. That never happens. It's never happened since. Another time I walked into an apartment and I had to put a cloth on my nose because I couldn't breathe. It reeked so badly. There were infestations of everything that you can imagine: mice, cockroaches, bed bugs. There was mold everywhere on the walls. When you walked into the toilet, it looked like it had never been flushed. When I opened the refrigerator, there was rotten meat inside. On the stove, there was a thick layer of grease all around the stove and even on top where the fan is. It looked like the floor had been used as an ashtray. And in parts of the floors, the wood buckled because there was so much water damage. It took 3 staff members to clean out the apartment and take the garbage out, not to mention all the money we had to spend to dispose of the garbage. Now, most vacancies are going to be somewhere in between those two scenarios. Now, when you first start your renovations, you're going to have to check the walls and the ceiling, especially the edges of the ceiling, to see if there's any water damage or mold. Because if there is water damage, unfortunately, you're going to have to open up the walls. Also, if you want to make changes to the electrical or the plumbing or the heating, you're going to have to open up the walls as well. But for that, you really need permits. Now, if you want to replace your kitchen cabinets or the countertops or floors, this is also the time to do it. This is your demolition phase. One issue that we have here in New York are brass pipes. These pipes were put in decades ago, and they're very old. So when the handymen go in, if there's a clogged pipe, they put a snake inside, and the snake can actually break those pipes. So this becomes a very expensive thing to replace that kind of plumbing. After you've made any changes or replacements to the plumbing, electrical, or the heating, it's time to cover up those walls again with drywall. Once you closed everything up with the drywall, you're going to need some primer. Primer is a base coat that you use before you start painting. You would use the primer on top of drywall, or if there's been very bad stains, or if there are very bad noxious odors in the apartment, or if kids have painted on the walls. Now let's take a look at flooring. If you have wood floors that are made from pine, oak, or walnut, then it's worth spending the money to have them sanded and stained. You can only have them sanded about 6 to 10 times until you have to remove the wood. One thing that you might want to look into is LVP. LVP stands for Luxury Vinyl Plank. It's made from compressed layers of vinyl. And besides the fact that it's cheap, it also is waterproof, and it's very durable, and it looks just like real wood. Once you've completed the flooring, it's time to focus on kitchen cabinets. You can paint or stain your kitchen cabinets, and you can replace the cabinet hardware. This will go a long way to making the cabinets look a lot better. If you do want to replace your kitchen cabinets, this is the time to do it right after you're done with your flooring. You have a choice between plywood or particle board. Particle board is made from sawdust and glue, and it's a lot cheaper. But plywood deals a lot better with moisture. Now that we've completed the cabinets, let's take a look at countertops. You may have a very outdated kitchen countertop, something going back to the 1970s. I have to confess something, I actually really like that retro look. But most tenants that move into your apartment will not like a dated countertop. So there are so many options out on the market. I'm going to present two of them to you that I think are very interesting. One of them is Formica and the other one is granite. Now, if you want to go cheap, Formica is a kind of plastic, but it's a very solid countertop. And it comes in many colors and patterns. And it can be made to look just like wood, steel, or even stone. On the other hand, granite is one of the cheaper stones, but it's very tough. It has a tough surface and it won't chip or stain very easily. You could put some hot pot right on top of the granite and it probably won't stain. I've never met anybody who doesn't like granite. At this point, I want to suggest something to you which is both free and could be very helpful to you. Our Facebook group. Our Facebook group is a group for building owners and property managers. If you want to communicate with other building owners about what kind of renovations they do and what kind of countertops they use, then why not join our Facebook group? I'll leave a link in the video description below. Now we are in the final phase, the details phase. And let's start this phase with painting. Now, when you paint, you don't want bright and bold colors. You may really like fuchsia and you may really like purple, but these do not have mass appeal. What has mass appeal are neutral colors like gray, like beige, like white. And for the interior walls, we use matte and eggshell finishes. For the trim, we use semi-gloss. What is trim? Trim are the doors, the door frames, the window casings, and baseboards. Why do we use semi-gloss for that? Because semi-gloss is a shiny paint, and shiny paints are more durable. These areas have more activity, so you need something that's more durable. Also, when you make everything one color, it doesn't look good. It looks more classy when you differentiate the trim from the ceilings and the walls. Now for the bathroom, you want to use a paint that has a mildew-resistant additive. The bathroom traps a lot of moisture and humidity in the walls, which can cause mildew and even worse, mold. So that's why you want that kind of paint. Now these are not rules that are set in stone, but this is what we do and it's worked well for us. Another way to reduce the moisture in the bathroom is to install a bathroom fan, which will push out the moisture out of the bathroom. And this will greatly reduce, again, the chances of getting mold in the bathroom. While you're in the bathroom, also take a look at your bathtub. Is the finish chipped? If it's chipped, you want to make sure you get your bathtub reglazed. Same thing in the kitchen. To get the moisture out of the kitchen, because when you cook, you release a lot of steam and moisture. And this, again, increases the chance for mold. So you want to make sure you have a range hood to push the moisture out of the kitchen. And in the kitchen, also, it's a good idea to replace the outlets to GFCI outlets, and this will greatly reduce the chance of electrical fires. And you can do the same thing in the bathroom as well. We get a lot of service calls from people that ask to have their light bulbs changed. A lot of these people are the elderly who have a hard time getting high enough to be able to change a light bulb. So if you want to cut down on those kind of service calls, one thing that I recommend highly is getting light fixtures that are LED. They have very cool models right now that are flat panel and also track lighting. I think you should definitely take a look at these. So there you have it. That's an apartment renovation. Just one last thing I want to mention before I let you go. We are Premises Guardian. We provide property management services here in New York City. We can help you maximize profitability, cut down on your violations, and keep your tenants satisfied. If you're interested in learning more about us, please click on the link in the video description below. That will take you to a page on our website where you could schedule a call with one of our team members and tell us more about your business and to see if we're a good fit. And hopefully we can help you remove some of your pressures and headaches. Also, if you could please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and leave a comment below. In the meantime, good luck managing your properties, and I hope this video was helpful.